Welcome to a new episode of High 17 SDGs, and today we are very glad to be at the St. Stephen's College. So why are we at a school, not a company? It's because that in this July, we hosted the 2025 Model UNESCO International Conference on Smart and Sustainable Cities. And of course, smart and sustainable cities is a core part of promoting sustainable development. And we really want to hear about how the school have promoted project-based learning, sustainable development learning, and also how the students have gained from this experience during this interview, and also how the teachers has integrated SDG or Model UNESCO project-based learning in their teachings and also pedagogies. So today we have me as the moderator, Americana Chen, the Youth Affairs Coordinator of UNESCO Hong Kong Association, and we also have Hazel, our Green Citizens Youth Ambassador, who's also a chairman of the conference. And also we have the principal of St. Stephen's College, Mrs. Ma. Can say hi to the audiences. And we also have teacher, Mr. Clinton Chung. And we also have two student delegates. We have Zachary, represented the delegation of Argentina, and also Selena, represented the delegation of Ukraine during the Model UNESCO International Conference. So first question, I want to learn more about our overall approach to project-based learning and also Model UNESCO activities. So my first question is to Principal Mrs. Ma. So how does St. Stephen's College actually integrated Model UNESCO or project-based learning in its curriculum to cultivate future-ready and global-minded students like the two students here?
Thank you for the question. For St. Stephen's College, we are definitely prepared to integrate project-based learning into different aspects of our curriculum. But then it doesn't mean that there is a project every single day for the students. Project-based learning has a lot to do with the mindset. And we prepare students for being open-minded and at the same time being confident about themselves. So they have to do their own work, even in the instance of a project. But at the same time, students are expected to learn to be interdependent as well. That is, to depend on their team members, to be ready to communicate, to collaborate, and to solve problems, and perhaps even to resolve conflicts. So these are supposed to be skills that they would develop, over time. And if they engage themselves in different themes and work towards a common goal for a product that is going to come up at the end of a project, I'm sure they would have gained, a little bit of this and that, in terms of fostering the different kind of skills that I have mentioned.
Thank you, Mrs. Ma. You've mentioned using problem-solving skills and cultivating a collaborative environment. So I want to ask Mr. Chung, how do you integrate these ideas into designing your Model UNESCO training sessions to balance academic rigor and also real-world problem-solving skills?
Thank you for your question. So for me, I see myself more as a teacher mentor rather than just a teacher with this group of delegates that I had to train. So most of the first step is to give them the mindset, is to ask question to question. So if they ask me a question, instead of giving them an answer, I give them another question. I challenge them more. And I also want them to respond by adding value. Don't just give me their point of view. I require every single one of them to utilize the UNESCO library for the research, at least 3 or 5 research papers. And I want them to be thick research papers. Although it's a lot to read, that's where the AI tools will come in. I want them to use the AI tools to summarize the research papers that they found based on the SDGs that they're interested in for their respective countries. Then after that, they need to come up with problems and solutions. Once they have all the data available, they have to think of the problems their country is facing and what kind of viable solutions that is practical and sustainable, and that can be used to be part of a resolution with other nations as well. So I want them to start thinking in that way as I prepare them every time I meet them.
Thank you, Mr. Chong, for your sharing. You have always been a very supportive teacher to the students, and I still remember that during our coordinator training, you also came along to every session, and which really, I hope it helped you to also train the students at the school. And yeah, my question is also, I want to follow up a little bit on the coordinator training, because I remember that your school registered 20 students, like 10 delegations for the conference, and everybody came to the coordinator training. And I also want to mention that Hazel was actually 2 years ago was one of the graduates, 3 years ago was one of the graduate of our first coordinator, Model UNESCO coordinator training in Hong Kong. So I also want to ask the students, how do you think the coordinator training have helped you in the process of preparing for the conference, and also how it's aligned very well with the training that Mr. Chong has offered you during your school time, and which helped you to prepare for the whole conference at the end?
So thank you for your question. So the training has really helped me improve my research skills, my public speaking skills, and also my debating skills. And all these combined made me know more and learn more about sustainable development. And for example, I learned a lot about carbon capture and storage. It's a technology that me and my partner Daniel have researched on, and this kind of technology really helps us make a really more sustainable future, and this training really helped me enhance these skills.
The training allowed me to actually feel what a conference would be like, because we did a real-time conference at the second day of the training. It kind of aligns to what we do at school, because Mr. Chong would also ask us many questions that we would have to think of the answers on the spot. It allowed me to, enhance my own knowledge, so I would be able to come up with actual good quality answers. And that made me really understand the importance of having a lot of knowledge and how to make it all correlate to each other when I actually have to use it on the spot.
Thank you. As a former participant of this program, I feel for you and what the reflections of participating in this program. I've heard about analytical skills and research skills that are so important, not just Model UNESCO conferences, but just in daily life. So, Mrs. Ma, what systems or resources has the school established to empower students and teachers in such high impact programs? As a student, I feel like teacher support and school support is very important to students.
I think we rely a lot on our teachers. And our teachers, among them, of course, is Mr. Chong, all right, are always very student-centered in the way they plan their lessons, in the way they conduct activities, and in the way they select activity for students. So without my further elaborating, you should know how difficult it is and how demanding it is for one teacher to be giving guidance to 20. Right, of our delegates. So I would like to say that perhaps the resource and also what St. Stephen's College has been offering to our students is that we hire the best teachers. The second thing is the culture and the environment that the school is actually having and enjoying. We are very proud and privileged to enjoy a picturesque campus, very spacious, with history behind us, and with a very new building, okay, together with us. We would present ourselves as a school, okay, for the future. It's not just the hardware or the facilities, but it's how we are integrating the old and the new. Because if you always head for the future and you forget about what predecessors have learned in the past, it is not good enough. You have to understand what history has already given us and how much we have actually been benefiting from what others have done, so that you can actually add on and add value, as Mr. Chung has put it, to what you are now owning. So perhaps it is in this way, and also those that I've mentioned, that our students understand that they have a free hand, because everything is here and they are free to choose. They're free to say yes or no to a teacher's invitation, right? And they're free to do what they would like to do for the competition, for themselves, and for the college.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ma. And I really love how you said integrating old and new. And I believe that that's also one of the core things that UNESCO is doing to preserve the culture, preserve the history, and also putting in innovative elements like technologies, AI. And that's also responding to the theme of our conference, right? Smart and sustainable city. We preserve the old buildings, the history, as well as adding new smart elements into it. Thank you so much. And I kind of want to ask Mr. Chung another question about how have you seen, did you see any growth in terms of the students' skills or their mindsets during the conferences?
So one of the challenge that I face as the teacher in charge of this is to help my students to have a paradigm shift from a local mindset to a global mindset. So I had to make sure they read and also to have a collaborative mindset, because this whole conference is very different from other kind of debate conferences where you can go and challenge and be condescending and rude and still win. But this conference doesn't allow that, because the peers will vote for them to win. So therefore, I need to train them in terms of mutual respect and how to move from me to we. And one of the analogy I always start with them, and also any student I teach in all my classes, is the coffee and tea analogy. So there are people who love coffee, there are people who love tea, but you can't say tea people are just idiots and coffees are just idiots. We can't have both extreme. And you have, in Hong Kong, we also have people who like the yin yang, they mix coffee and tea together. But I said, let's look at the common factor. The common factor is water. So if you look at water, then without water, you won't have coffee or tea. So look at your discussions, look at the topics, find the common factors that you can collaborate together and find a solution. So I need to inspire them to think like that. So every time I have a meeting with them, I'll listen to them talk and I'll give them feedback and slowly help them to get this mindset so that they can work together and find a solution.
Yeah, that's exactly what the drafting resolution part of our conference is about, right?
Yes, definitely. And you've mentioned the collaborative element that's so unique to Model UNESCO. For the students, Zachary and Selena, I was wondering, what were the challenges you faced when participating in the conference, as there are so many different elements and new elements that you might not have encountered before?
So in the global conference, one of the relatively newer aspects is communicating and diplomacy. So in the global conference, we had talented people from around the globe come to Hong Kong for the conference, and UNESCO was able to give us a really realistic experience. So except for presenting our strategies and writing other strategies as well, like a resolution, we also had realistic things like coffee breaks and all that. And during that time, we'll have to chit chat and small talk with other delegates and also with their supervising teachers. And this part is pretty challenging for me. As Mr. Chong has said, it's not just about me, it's about others, because other diplomats have to vote for me. So in order to sort of communicate with them and get them to vote for me, I'll have to talk to them and also know more about them. And it's challenging because, I'm not that good at small talking at first, but eventually I think it's really rewarding because I get to learn more about people from different cultures, different countries, and it's just really fun to talk to new people, and I really enjoy it.
Did you make friends with any of the delegates from other countries?
Yeah, we did. We kept in touch with some of them and some not. Yeah.
For me, my biggest challenge was I was first unable to differentiate between debating and negotiating, because at first I joined Model UNESCO because I thought it was something like debating or MUNs. So I thought it was, aggressive debating or maybe hostile questions towards each other. But then in the conference, I realized that maybe hostile and aggressive questions aren't the only way to get to the other person. You actually have to raise valuable questions and to understand what situation their country is in, so we can all collaborate and work together to form a new solution. And like Zachary said, we also had to do lots of networking with people from other cultures. So I had to keep in mind to not maybe offend other people with maybe with things that I may say very wrongly or maybe very offensive to them. So that made me keep in mind that, I have to be aware of other people as well. I have to be aware of their thoughts, and I will also have to talk to them a bit more so I can understand their culture and therefore be able to form a better relationship with them.
Yeah, the global perspective aspect of Model UNESCO is definitely something that is the heart of this type of a conference.
I also have a few questions about maybe your future prospect or like your good wishes for promoting Model UNESCO or education for sustainable development or global perspective education in the future. So first of all, maybe as Mrs. Ma, the principal, so has the school have had any previously promoted any youth-led initiatives for Model UNESCO or like SDG education, or what's your plan in the future in promoting such programs?
We don't have a very specific plan to promote such programs, indeed. But then we do have our own school development plan. And the gist of it has a lot to do with what students really need. And then these are the things that we need to gear towards when we do our lesson planning, activity planning, and so on. So probably you can go back to the two students here and let me hear what they really need and what they think their fellow, classmates need. And then we can listen, understand, and adjust our plans.
Great. So how about Zachary? What do you have in mind?
So I think the school has been doing a great job. They always encourage us to work hard and play hard as well, and they always have good activities for us. But I think they can. Actually, I think the school is doing great. Actually, yeah.
Good to hear that.
Yeah.
Selena.
I think the school is actually doing great too. We have lots of environmental or sustainable development integrated into our curriculums. But sometimes students kind of mix in that, sustainable development is all about environmental protection, it's all about saving the environment and reduce, reuse, recycle, the green circle thingy. But so after the conference, I realized sustainable development is not what I used to think. It's not just about recycling or protecting the environment. It's more about understanding the world a bit more, because sustainable development can include having clean water for every single country or city, making peace between countries, because these are all very fundamentals for creating a sustainable city in the world. So I feel like maybe students could have more of a perspective towards this rather than saying, what we have to do right now is save the world. But saving the world can come from different perspectives as well.
How about Mr. Chung? And also specifically, do you have any suggestions or messages that you want to share with other teachers who might want to promote these kind of project-based learning or who are looking for a similar approach?
My first and most foremost recommendation is that the teacher in charge and all the participating students must attend the student coordinator training. And I actually requested all the students to attend in uniform, school uniform, and I also attended in business casual attire, because I already told them when you attend this conference, even the training assume it's already the conference, like a little mini conference. I want them to have that mindset already. So that's very important. That builds builds the friendship, builds the closeness for the team, and also it allows all the students to learn the procedures of the conference and for the teachers to have the same platform to start my training for them. And that is just very, very important.
Thank you, Mr. Chung. As someone who joined this program to learn more about Model UNESCO and now coming back as someone who joined the coordinator training program as a guest speaker, it's very good to see the progression that everyone's taking through this whole entire process of getting into Model UNESCO conferences. So for the two students, what would you tell other students, or how would you encourage them if they're a little bit hesitant in joining Model UNESCO conferences?
So I'd say you should go for it. You should not hesitate at all, because UNESCO is an amazing experience to develop your research skills, your public speaking skills, and even your debating skills. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that you can get, and if you have it, you should go for it. There's nothing to be afraid of. I was a bit hesitant at first, but Mr. Chong also encouraged me, and my friend also encouraged me to join. And again, I think everybody should just go for it.
I think Model UNESCO was a really fun and memorable experience for me. And I'd say if you're a bit hesitant to join the conference, you should always step out of your comfort zone. You never know if you'll find something that really suits you, because maybe you'll really like negotiating or debating after you join Model UNESCO. It can actually also help you kind of shape your critical thinking, your global perspective. You can meet new friends from different countries and understand different cultures. So I'd say you have nothing to lose anyways. So don't hesitate, just go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as UNESCO Hong Kong Association is our core mission to promote education for sustainable development and also global citizens. We are really, really glad to see schools like St. Stephen's College promoting these kind of activities, and also teachers, Mr. Clinton Chung, who wants to help the students in terms of their preparation, and also students who are so talented and who are now be able to be aware of global issues and also contribute to sustainable development in the future. And we are coming to the end of our show, and let's all just say goodbye to the camera, to our audiences.
Bye-bye.
Bye.